Possiamo iniziare se volete accomodarvi. So I will try to have a kind of a hybrid approach to present the event. So I will speak in English, but the slides are in Italian. Most of the slides are in Italian, since we have a mixed audience. So first of all, thank you for joining us. This event is sponsored by the COMITES, is the Italian association in Norway. And today we are going to have a demo of a Viking history experience with virtual reality. So basically, in this first demo, we focused mostly on the artistic perspective, trying to combine technology, so virtual reality, with art and history. So this is just a summary of my quick presentation. I will first introduce the background and the motivation of this event, then the event itself, and then I will try to give you also a brief overview of Italians in this region, in the Agder region. And then actually we took the opportunity to combine another small presentation. So the second part of this event will be a presentation of one team of students from the University of Agder that will be participating to the robot competition this year in Malta in November. So it's basically two events combined. Very briefly, this is our research group. Basically the picture of all the people involved is not complete because the group is constantly expanding. But just to give you an idea of the research we work on, I have summarized our research into three different layers. So the core layer is represented by robots. We work with robots. And we have robots operating in different scenarios. Some of them are operating in aquatic environments, like the one with water jet that you see on the left side. Some other robots operate on land, so robots with legs, like the spider robot we have there. We also have a snake-like robot that is called Serpents, and that robot is used to operate in environments where other robots cannot go. Robots with wheels or robots with tracks. So think about space operation. You know, the Mars rover, for example, doesn't necessarily operate in all kind of environments. If there are rocks or stones, robots with wheels cannot access that area. So snake robots can access narrow paths or pipes, or they can climb. In nature, snakes are very versatile. They can operate on sand, they can go underwater, swimming. Some species can climb trees and can even glide over the air. So we like to get inspiration from nature, and we try to explore possibilities with bio-inspired robots. And then on the top layer we have add-ons or devices that can be added, that can be carried by the robots, like robotic arms or grippers or other sensors. But the most important layer for us in our research group is the bottom layer. It's the interface. So with humans, we don't build machines just for the sake of designing robots, but we want humans and robots working together. So we have a set of interfaces that can be used to connect people with machines. So for example, here we have a brain-machine interface that can be used to control a robotic arm we have, so we can send the command from the human to the machine. But also the way back, what if we can send a signal from the machine back to the human? So for example, tactile feedback or force feedback, so that if I'm operating a robotic arm, I can touch virtually what the robot is touching. So that device here is meant to transfer forces to humans from machines. So the human-machine interface is really the core of our research. And this is a very brief video, just to give you an overview of the labs and the things we do. So I will just play it. Hopefully the audio will work.
At the Augmenting Robots, which is a cluster of the Center for Integrated Emergency Management, and also at the Artificial Intelligence, Biomechatronics and Collaborative Robotics Research Group, we have a dream. We want to enable what we have defined as human-robot teaming, which means that we want humans and robots working together synergistically.
Our research is collaborating with the Center of Integrated Emergency Management, or CM. Within CM, we have a cluster that is called Augmenting Robots. The idea there is to augment people, so civilians and first responders, with robotics in a potential disaster scene. So these four pillars: levels of autonomy, levels of collaboration, levels of ethics, and levels of security. These are the key elements to achieve human-robot teaming.
So in the video you also saw our youngest collaborator. So now, back to the event. So this is our small town of Realta and the view from above. And the idea is that in this region, in Agder, we have several Italians working here and living here. And we wanted to organize this event to kind of invite Italians to meet each other and to join also the environment here at the university and to talk to each other, basically. So the idea is very simple, but we took the opportunity to combine this with some of our research, and today we will invite you to try one of our small projects that is about Norwegian history, the Viking history. So this is the Viking ship that we have replicated. So in this first demo, I have to admit that we started looking at this more as an artistic perspective. So some of the reconstructed structure and so on is inspired to the boat that is at the museum in Oslo, but we have not been so strict to replicate, one-to-one all the features and so on. And by doing this, actually, we realized that there is a potential of collaborating with other departments at the university. So people working with history, people working with, for example, the museum in Kristiansand, and also we got good feedback from other Italians working at the museum in Bergen as historians. So I think that there is potential for this to collaborate and to make this even better. For now, it's just an artistic reproduction of this boat. And it is implemented as a virtual reality experience, so it's a fully immersion experience inside this constructed environment. And then of course there is pizza already there, so since we can try the demo just one person at a time, we will we can have pizza at the same time. So this is our facilities at the campus here in Grimstad, and I try to make an estimate of how many Italians live in the Agder region. So it should be around 600 to 700 Italians in this region. Yes, this is a big number, and today we are a few, but I think we should still be happy about and grateful for the people that have joined. But we also have a small task: try to connect with other Italians and we will try to have regular meetings in the next weeks and months, so that we can have a small community growing. So 600, 700 is a big number. It's probably like the third or fourth biggest community in Agder. So then on the Facebook page we have around 120 people registered. I'm not the manager of the page. I just use the page to promote the event. And of course the majority of Italians live in Kristiansand and work in Kristiansand. I try to get some data from the embassy, and I'm still working on this, just to maybe we can come up with a list of Italians, we can reach more people for the next events. So this picture is taken from the university website. I think it was a recent meeting with the international students. I just downloaded from our webpage. So the long-term objective is, first of all, is from a social perspective, it's nice to have a community of Italians that meet each other and talk to each other. But long-term, the idea is to improve our services in terms of, for example, the embassy. Today, just to make an example, if you need to renew your passport, you have to travel to Oslo. And this takes time, and it's not always easy, for example, for family with kids and so on. And the idea long-term is to decentralize some of the services. So that, for example, we can have an office in Kristiansand. At least part of the service could be decentralized and closer to us. So that's the long-term objective, but of course to get there, we have to be active. We have to show the embassy that we exist and we are here, and we can connect to each other, and we can try to get better services. So that's the long-term idea. So, and some of the services were listed here. Of course, these services are more relevant for Italians that have that live permanently here, but also for the Erasmus students. Some of these can facilitate your stay in our region. Okay, then I think the first part of the presentation is completed. We can start with the demo. So one of our PhD students, Tuan, has taken care of preparing this demo, and I will switch to his laptop. So we can take this part more informal. You can stand up, get closer, you can try the demo, and we can also start pizza. So, and once again, since we are recording the event, the idea is to also, through the recording, to reach more Italians. So if you share it on your social media, this will help us to reach more people. And I want to say once more that this event is sponsored by the COMITES, the Italian association in Norway, and we are very grateful for them to support us with pizza and drinks. So if you want to try the demo, you can. So basically, the idea is that one person at a time can try the experience, and on the big screen we can see what the user, the person, is seeing in real time. So now he's just starting up everything. And it is an interactive experience because you can touch some of the objects and you can get some information about the objects. And we try to get collected some information from Norwegian colleagues about this region. And we had this information in some of the objects that you can click on, you can touch on. And you can also take a sword or an axe, you can throw it around.
And also you should come and eat some pizza before it gets
Before it gets cold. Yes.
So please. No.
Yeah, please. Who wants to try it? Please. Better Italian than mine or Norwegian. It's great.
Come on.
But they dropped it. I guess they dropped it. Oh, yeah. No, that was really interesting too. So did you use like a real model to, or what do we use? Okay, so they made a model and then you used that. But she can do really.
So we piccola presentazione e poi riprendiamo. So we will just continue with the second part of the event, and the idea here is that we are actually quite proud. We are sending a team of students to participate to the IEEE International Competition of Robotics that will be happening in November in Malta. So they get to travel, they get to compete with other students, and they are going to finalize the design and development of this robot. And I just wanted to show you this is the logo of the competition. So it will be on the 23rd and 24th of November, and the event will be streamed online. And this is just a teaser of this event. this was just this is the stage that normally is built, and it's like the cage where the robots are going to fight with each other. There are several games that now Martin and Inge will introduce. And the idea is to get your robot to survive until the last match. There are going to be probably, I think, 16 teams this year from different countries. So IEEE is the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. It's the biggest international institution for engineering. And Region 8, so the entire world is divided in regions. The region where Norway belongs is Region 8. Region 8 is quite big. It's the whole Europe, Africa, and part of Asia. So it's many countries involved. And there has been already a pre-selection of teams. So only the best 15 or 16 teams have been went through this first filter, and they will meet each other in Malta and compete with each other. So Martin and Inge will show you a few more things. Yes, this was the Italian way to ask if you have any questions.
Nice. Okay. Philip have introduced us a little bit already. We call ourselves Eitri. It's the Eitri. It's the Norwegian god of smithery. So we thought that was kind of cool because this is a huge block of metal in the end, at least. Also, we hoped to integrate some autonomy into the robots. So we thought about like Thor's hammer have some will of its own, and it's a magnificent tool. So we call it the robot Mjolnir, and then Eitri was the smith which created the hammer. So it's yeah. This is the team. It's myself there, Inge here, and Jørgen. Me and Jørgen just finished our master's degree, and Inge is finishing his bachelor. And then we have Hamza, which is a PhD student for Filippo, which is our team mentor. Quite nice. The robot, which you can see here, Mjolnir, it's based on an earlier project on the university called Viaggio, which is a framework for like autonomous driving and remote control driving. And they created like a version of Turtlebot, which is a platform which you can easily attach other sensors. So we reused a lot of their hardware, such as the drivers and the computer, and modified it to become a little bit stronger, since there are aspects of this competition which is battlebot, so we needed to be at least quite solid. Yeah, so we have designed it with that in mind. Inge can talk a little bit about our key design choices.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of holes. the limit is a maximum of 20 kilos. So when we weighed the robot first, it was too heavy, so we had to redesign it and make more holes. Yeah, we will add like a gripper for picking up weights, so we can move them around for the competition. We're adding a robotic arm, and we have a camera at the moment. So we can do a lot of different stuff that the competition requires. The university is helping us with all the machinery, so all the parts that are used here in steel or aluminium is made by the university. That's pretty nice.
It's a hamburger made inspired robot. So we have two plates made of 2mm steel, which is weighed quite a lot. And we want to make motor hubs of aluminium, just to keep it super solid and rigid. We also have machined it very fine, so we can have taken out a lot of weight off the aluminium motor housings, and they actually become quite light. Since we have require a lot of power, we have 4 quite powerful motors there, and a lot of the weight actually go into those motors. Center, we have a quite huge battery, quite powerful Jetson Nano, which we run all the programs of. And as I said, different. And of course, a lot of 3D printing for the finer walls and such things. We saw it a little bit in the video here, but there's 4 challenge in a cup system, so everyone will compete in the first 2, and then only half get to the 3rd challenge, and only the 2 best actually meet in the 4th as a final. So the first competition is tug of war. You saw it there, just tow the other robot off a platform. So that's why the maximum is 20 kilos, and we're aiming to at least be 19.5 kilos to just be difficult to tow. The second one is more interesting in controlling perspective. You have a competition area looking like this with 3 towers, and there will be markers around, and it will like simulate climate chaos, climate hazard environment, and we will drive around on this track and collect these markers without destroying the towers, which are just loosely placed upon poles. The third one is wait in line, which is the upper one there with the rings. There are placed 4 or 5 different weights in different kilos around the track. One for set for each team. There's 2 teams at once, and you're going to bring the dedicated weight for your team back to the circles which match with the weight size. You get points for how accurate they are placed. There's a total time you can use for it, but if you have managed to place all your weights inside the time, you can start destroying the other robot or prevent them from finishing their task. That's why we need to make it a little bit solid, because we have seen some quite infamous weapons from last years. Challenge 4 and the final relay is American football, they call it. I'm a little bit unsure if I would call that American football, but they have an American football, and you're going to score points at each team's corner. But there's like a hazard environment with like hanging weights and some, really they can beat up your robots and swinging things actually. Look like a medieval torture chamber or something. And also you have no limits for you can destroy the others' robots as much as you want to. Yeah, actually you get more points for like destroying the other team's robots than scoring the football. So then again, what does the football part there do? But at least they call it American football. I guess that's a part of it. So of course we would like to win, but we're realistic. So we're trying to do as best as we can in the first 2, and then hopefully have a chance of competing in the at least number 3. We're a little bit short about. We want to make it quite dynamic environment, so we're running mainly Docker containers on the robots, running the different software, so it's really compartmentalized, and we can easily change our parts. Also, me and Inge living here in Grimstad, but this third one is living a little bit further away, so keeping it simple on the software and easy to change out parts makes it easier for us to develop. Really. We're going to run, you saw many of the competitions run like standard RC controllers, but we are planning to run a separate Wi-Fi network with a separate DDS framework with ROS for controlling the robots. We really tried getting it ready to drive today, but unfortunately we had some hardware problems which prevented it. Yes, and it said that they wasn't sure if we were allowed to see the robots in Challenge 2, so we have designed it around like being able to implement a camera so we can see where we drive anyway. We're using GStreamer and TCP, or RTP actually, a framework. And this is our main software overview. With the RCS and local station here, video receiver, and we have a Joy which take input commands from a PlayStation controller and send it to the robot, which we have the video broadcaster, speed controller, and we have different equipment controllers, and we were planning on maybe a LiDAR, just for if it would look good in Challenge 2. And if we have an opportunity, we want to implement some autonomous picking of the markers. We have done something similar in some similar projects, but due to time and also we don't know, they haven't quite decided on the markers yet, so we're a little bit unsure if we're able to train the network for that. But if we have the opportunity, we'll do it. Yeah. We started officially in May with this project, and we're now finishing up the hardware part. We're waiting for some machine parts and trying to get the drivers and such things to work. We also finished all the basic software, so we're testing that now as soon as we get the hardware up and running, and then we will use like the next months to developing special equipments and controllers. We have a demo robot arm mounted now. We'll make a new one a little bit more suited, but it will look something like that. Yeah, I think that was it. Maybe. So this is our robot, and for fun part, I think. Actually, it's running. Yeah. Cool. No, my computer died, so unfortunately, but we got the camera stream up and running. Unfortunately, that didn't work quite well. Okay, thank you for your attention.